Good morning students and welcome back to the class. Today I will explain you chapter 5 marriage proposals of novel. So 1 year had passed since the Charles Darnay's uncle. Who was Charles Darnay's uncle? Marquis Lee Marquis, who was brutally murdered, and Charles himself now had quickly returned back to England because he is not in mood to deal with the authorities in the France. So in England, the Charles was making a good living by teaching French and literature over there. That was his job. And he was also madly in love with Lucy Manette, whom he had adored since the day he saw her. And he wanted to marry her, and so he went to the house in Soho when he knew Lucy would be out to ask her father her hand in marriage. So he found Dr. Manette reading in an armchair, and thereover he went, and the doctor looked up and seemed pleased to, he was very happy to see Charles Darnay. But immediately he said that Lucy is not here. Yes, I know, Charles. Shiley and I plan to visit you when you would not be, she would not be at home. That time I want to meet you alone because I want to discuss with you some important matter, because I love Lucy, your daughter, and I want her hand in my hand. You know what it is to love someone. I am sure you understand how I feel. The doctor turned away from the Charles and unable to hide his pain. But he said, I beg you, do not remind me of that. Forgive me. I do not doubt your love for the Lucy. I am sure that you love Lucy very much. But you must understand that I do not want to come between you and your daughter, Dr. Manette. I have seen your devotion to each other. So if anything, want only to share some part of this extraordinary love. So I wish to bring even more love into both of your life. After a silence of few moments, after some time, the doctor raised his eyes for the first time to the Charles. Do not have any reason to believe that Lucy loves you. No, sir, I have not revealed my feeling to her. I have not discussed anything with your daughter Lucy. Or has she spoken of me to you? I was hoping perhaps you could give me some guidance. I am afraid that my daughter is in this respect a mystery to me. I myself don't know what type of the nature she is having. But may I ask if you have any rival? Rival means competitors. Rival means competitor. Charles Darnay is asking whether your daughter has any rival, any other person is there who also loves her. Okay, that is what I mean. You have seen Mr. Stryver here, Mr. Carton, some other personalities are also coming here. If there is anyone, it could only be one of them. So I see Charles with a worried face look on his face, and if she should reveal any feelings for me, would you? The doctor put an understanding hand on the Charles' shoulder. I tell you, after a moment's silence, Charles continued, I wish to tell you why I am in England. Okay. Then at 5 o'clock the following morning, the Stryver arrived at his office to find the Carton. He was still working over there, and Stryver was in very good mood, and despite the hour of the day and what he is going to ask, I am going to tell you something, Sydney, that will rather surprise you. I am going to marry. Carton showed no interest. If you marry, then what I have to do? Yes, not for money. Guess who is? Now guess who is that lady? It is 5 o'clock in the morning and I am in no mood for guessing anything. And just tell me, okay, Miss Manette. Carton was not surprised. And let Stryver continue with his conversation about the marriage. I don't care that she has no fortune. I myself am pretty well off, and I am a rising man. I have much wealth. And well, do you approve? Good. Now let me give you a piece of advice to you, Stryver. Find yourself a nice woman with property, landlady or something. That is what you need. Don't go for the Lucy Manette. Later that day, a man of discussion, Stryver went straight into the Dr. Manette's house to discuss the matter, and he thought there was no possibility of refusing. He had everything that young girl could want: a fortune, future, good character. On his way to Soho, he decided to stop at the Tellson and have a talk with Mr. Lorry, because he was very close to Dr. Manette. When Mr. Lorry saw Stryver, he was somewhat surprised. What can I do for you, Mr. Stryver? Nothing to do with the money. It is a private matter. I want to discuss my private matter. Oh, yeah. I am going to ask your lovely little friend Lucy Manette to marry me. Oh dear me, what do you mean, oh dear me? I mean, yes. Am I not wealthy? Stryver saying like this. Yes. Am I not doing well in my profession? Yes. Hang it, man, what is wrong? I just feel, Mr. Stryver, that you should not go about something unless you have a good chance of succeeding. So, very well, I expect you tell me this evening what you find out. Then later you tell me what happened. At that, Stryver turned and burst out of the bank. Immediately he ran away from that place. And after this meeting, Mr. Lorry, Stryver began to think, not to succeed would indeed be very humiliating. If I don't get success, then it will be very humiliating. And he would sooner humiliate her than be humiliated himself. Then, I feel that my earlier advice stands. I can't be sure you will succeed. So all these thinking was going in his mind, and Mr. Stryver didn't seem at all put out. Now Sydney Carton was in love with the Lucy. Actually, that Carton was in love with the Lucy, but no one in the world would have guessed, least of all the girl herself. So some days after Mr. Stryver's brief fantasy of the proposal, Carton found himself alone with Lucy, and Lucy looked at him with very concern. And what happened to you, Carton? You are not looking happy. Why? Then he leaned over and covered his eyes with his hand, and Lucy had never seen him showing such type of the emotions. What is upsetting you, Mr. Carton? I have a confession. Ever, if you could love me as much as I love you, I would have turned you away. A wasted, miserable man like me would simply ruin your life. Again, Mr. Carton, I beg you, try to change your life. Why you are getting upset? Then he said, I promise, said Lucy, putting her hand on her arm. At that, Carton slowly rose to his feet, and now I must go over from this place. Just remember that there is a man that would give his life to keep a life you love beside you. And Lucy was so moved that she could hardly speak. She was unable to speak. And farewell, Lucy. God bless you. Thanks.